That's fantastic. And how long were you a part of that show
Well,
process?
it's interesting. Detours.
Mm-hmm.
I loved that experience. And Merv Griffin meets my desert island, the late Merv Griffin meets my desert island criteria. I've told him many times. I said, if I'm going to the desert island, I want you with me, because he was such a fabulous raconteur and teller of stories.
Oh, gosh.
So I did that.
You really have met and worked with some of the greats. I mean, you really have. It's amazing.
I'm very fortunate.
What? I
Very
mean,
fortunate.
to consider where you come from, and you just had this feeling, this dream inside of you, and you just, as you said, just keep stepping into it, walking into it.
I have to say, Monique, sometimes I even ask myself, how did I get here? As I'm sitting in Merv Griffin's dressing room, or in Carson's office, or back there in when I was freelancing, I was somehow chosen through a mutual friend to direct TV spots for Ronald Reagan, and I spent 2 days with him.
My
and I
gosh.
say, I don't know. I really don't know how I got to some of these places, except it was in there somewhere.
Focus. It's focus and dreaming and constantly rehearsing and seeing the picture.
Yes.
And just seeing and knowing and feeling and stepping towards. And also, too, I think a big important element are no distractions. You didn't have any kooky relationships on the side, or, things to distract you or pull you, or a lot of drama going on or things. I mean, you were able to just stay focused on your path and do your thing.
And the key piece for me, I call it the theory of positive naivete. I never disbelieved that it could happen.
Oh.
I always believed it could happen. And I was perhaps naive in some instances, because, as I said, there were detours and there were plenty of potholes.
Right.
In various ways, like being at NBC and a new boss, and it was over. And to answer your question regarding the Jeopardy pilot, I needed a job. I'm not didn't have great resources, and there was an extended period of time between the pilot being done and the show going on the air in syndication. And so I'd gotten a call based on the Jeopardy experience from another owner of a game show format, a man named Sandy Frank, who wanted to bring Name That Tune back. And so I woke up one day, and I have this reputation as the guy to call if you want to get the mothballs off of a game show, I guess, and do it. And so I did for a year. I was the executive producer of Name That Tune, which was fun. I love
show.
Music. Yeah, it worked out.
Love that show.
Yeah.
That's fun. I don't think I knew that. That's neat. That was a great.
It's still running out
fantastic,
there someplace,
fun.
and probably has my name at the end somewhere.
Oh,
Yes.
isn't that fantastic? So then, how did you go on and start to feel that you need to start developing your own ball game and things? And
The NBC experience taught me that I don't make the world's best employee.
I can relate to that. I have my own business. I get that.
Yes, I'd always envied business people and admired them, and had met a few. And I said to myself, there's got to be something I can do on my own. And it was classic. I went to a job interview with a small production company after that. I was freelancing again, did some children's storytelling shows, etc. And I sat at the beach one day. And that on the beach thing is literal and metaphoric. And writing down my strong points and the weak points and what I wanted to do on a yellow ruled pad. And I had enough going on so that I was able to become a salesman to go out and sell somebody on the idea of this little business show idea of mine. And I hustled and so forth, and managed to convince a station in Los Angeles that it could serve some of their purposes. I managed to convince a couple of advertisers to do a pilot of that show. Some people start businesses by committing to a lot of business structure and then trying to figure out how to pay for it. I'm counterintuitive almost always. And so I said...
What do you mean by that? Tell me exactly.
The airplane story. I bought an airplane before I had a pilot's license, because that was my incentive to get a pilot's license.
Right.
And so with getting my business started, I focused all of my time and resources and energy on convincing a couple of advertisers, AT&T and Arco, I think it was, to support this idea, and a TV station to put it on the air as a one-time episode to see how it would work and how I interacted with their people and so forth, and versus getting all the commitments to saying to do the pilot and then try and find the advertisers.
Right.
I found the advertisers to support the pilot.
Smart.